So in our coursework piece, we're establishing a narrative of our main character's journey through several different techniques. Such as early on in our sequence, we showed her for the very first time, and it was a long shot of her walking through the location we filmed in of the graveyard. And then it cut to a close-up of her, which demonstrates instantly that she's the focus of our film whilst the main titles came up. That links her to the title of the film. So after the film title is shown in our opening, we also include an extreme long shot of her walking past the demonic figures. And those figures...
demonic figures.
And those figures are in there to represent her relationship in her mind with the church and her religion. And since the character is appearing constantly throughout the sequence with the demons around her, that explores her journey in her mind as the demons get closer and closer to her, showing that her ideas towards the church are getting worse and worse throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
And another factor which establishes these religious themes in her life are the locations we used to film in. So we base the scenes containing our main character and the demons in a kind of church and a graveyard, which means that the audience is immediately made aware of the fact that she is struggling with the church, since those are locations that are conventionally shown to link with the church. Yeah. And it also demonstrates that these are important themes in her life, as these are the only places she's seen in. We also use props to demonstrate this. She holds a rosary throughout the whole sequence, which shows that religion is a really important aspect of her life, and it's a really personal thing, since she's the one holding it the whole time. And the issue of her declining mental state is represented through props as well. We use items that are conventional in horror, such as knives and kind of creepy things in jars, and these represent what's going on in her mind, like her insanity and how she's
I guess progressing, maybe declining.
Mm-hmm.
So we established the genre and character, and her kind of main focal point. So we established her kind of extreme involvement with the church, kind of more than usual, by centering the opening around that church. So we had the church as one of the main locations that we shot in, and it's featured quite a lot. So the inside of the church with the big window, the big stained glass window, that's shown at the very beginning to show that that's where it's mainly set. And it really looks nice as well. And then we showed a lot of different stained glass windows that kind of didn't show particularly nice aspects of...
Yeah, they had really brutal imagery of Jesus holding the cross and things.
And it was kind of... and most of their faces and stuff. They all looked a bit like...
Yeah, so it shows a really kind of brutal relationship that she has.
Which was meant to be...
And how much it affects her, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we thought that was pretty cool. And then we also showed the exterior of the church in quite a quick shot, which kind of, again, highlighted that her involvement in the church, and that was one of the main focal points that we had. Then we showed a lot of graveyards, kind of scenes, and our main character walking in the graveyard, and gravestones, and that kind of just added to the atmosphere of the opening. So when in the pre-production stage, we outlined clearly what sort of atmosphere that we wanted. So we kind of just sat down and decided that our film opening wasn't going to be the typical kind of slasher film that I think mostly everyone else was doing, with including knives and torture and stuff like that. We didn't really want to do that. We kind of wanted to we wanted to create kind of atmosphere, especially in the beginning, that would kind of be quite confusing maybe, and really make our kind of audience think about, okay, well, what's going on here? Trying to put the pieces together. I think that's also why we chose the kind of the song that we did, Preface by FKA Twigs, because I mean, I heard it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what we want to do. It's kind of surreal, almost kind of scary, I think, if you're listening to it out of context. We wanted to, I think we also wanted to create the atmosphere of isolation for both the audience, because they would be quite confused, they wouldn't know what was going on, and for our main character. So basically the reason we wanted to do this was because we want to be kind of different to the kind of the demon kind of films that you see today, like The Exorcist, or I guess even Carrie, to be honest. You know, she could be seen as kind of like a demon. And we wanted to kind of tap into our like audience's inner fears. We had this whole session about people's fears and how we could include that. And I think a lot of people's fears were like being alone with themselves and kind of maybe their thoughts and in like a sinister location, like maybe a church in the night, or even a church in the day because it was quite dark in there. Or like in a graveyard. That's pretty scary. I mean, Evan said that was scary, so and we were there in the day, we weren't even there in the night.
So. Like the usage of our main character in those shots, like she's the only person in our film who isn't demonic. So
or like I guess even like a projection, because it could be shown as like a projection.
No, she's the only like solid character in our film, which helps. You know, again, that shows isolation because it's like her against the demons and what they represent.
Her against the world. So in pre-production, when we were sitting down and discussing about what we wanted to do, we discussed using religion as a kind of main theme and atmosphere, because I don't know, it's just been linked. I think maybe that was quite conventional for ours, because it's been linked to horror films quite a lot. You know, like the church and the dead or something. I don't know. Like Carrie. I think like Carrie. She was very religious. So. Yeah, that was something that we wanted to do. I think that was one of our more conventional ideas, to create a religious atmosphere, just so we wouldn't be too different.